This is Accurate TV News,
where you get your news on time, on point, and online.
Three-story house collapses in Portland from impact of 5.6 earthquake. A three-story concrete house in Portland collapsed from the impact of the earthquake that hit this morning. The 5.6 magnitude earthquake, which rocked Jamaica at approximately 10:57 a.m., caused significant damage to the house in Content, Hope Bay, as the entire first floor crumbled. The couple who occupied the house shared that they had a narrow escape as they went to Kingston over the weekend to visit relatives. The earthquake also impacted several roadways due to landslide, and offices of the Portland Municipal Corporation suffered structural damage. Hart NSTA Trust buildings closed due to damage from earthquake. The Hart NSTA Trust is advising that all its locations are now closed to the public until further notice. The agency says its closure is a result of the earthquake that impacted the island this morning, during which its buildings were physically damaged. While the physical locations remain closed, it says online services remain operational and accessible to the public. Members of the public are encouraged to use Hart online services until full access is restored at physical locations. The agency says it will advise as soon as full service is restored. Police emergency responders working to maintain order following this morning's earthquake. The Jamaica Constabulary Force (JCF) says it is working closely with other emergency responders to assist members of the public in the wake of the 5.6 magnitude earthquake that struck the island about 7:53 a.m. today. Traffic signals, especially those across the corporate area, have been affected. There are also reports of landslides in rural St. Andrew, namely Cane River Road, Dallas Castle Road, and Greenvale Road. Police officers have been deployed to help maintain public safety and maintain public order. We urge the public to follow the instructions of the police and any other emergency personnel, the JCF said in a press release today. Importantly, members of the public are advised to travel only if necessary, as the roadways should be as clear as possible to allow for emergency responders to traverse freely. Members of the public are being urged to exercise courtesy and patience at major intersections. All persons should continue to monitor news outlets for further updates. JPS Electricity restored to all customers impacted by earthquake. The Jamaica Public Service (JPS) says power supply has been restored to all customers who were affected by outage caused by this morning's earthquake. Several power generating units and the power delivery system in the corporate area were impacted by the magnitude 5.6 earthquake that shook the island earlier today. The affected power plants, which belong to both JPS and independent power producers IPPS, were West Kingston Power Plant WKPP and Jamaica Private Power Company JPPC in Rockfort and Hunts Bay. Approximately 132,000 customers in Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine, Manchester, and St. James were affected by the outage. The customers outside the corporate area were restored within a few minutes, while JPS worked over the past few hours to restore service to the Kingston and St. Andrew customers in phases, the power company said in a press release just now. The company is continuing its assessment of the overall damage to its infrastructure. Classes suspended at some schools over earthquake. Classes at several schools have been suspended as a result of today's 5.6 magnitude earthquake. The earthquake unit at the University of the West Indies reported that the quake struck at 10:57 a.m. and was located approximately 10 kilometers south of Buff Bay, Portland. Jamaicans across the island have reported experiencing the quake. Images and videos have been shared on social media platforms showing evacuated buildings with some report of damage. Parents and guardians are being encouraged to make arrangements to collect their children. No deaths, minor damage reported from earthquake. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says no deaths has been reported, with minor damage being experienced based on an assessment following this morning's earthquake. The earthquake unit at the University of the West Indies reported that the quake struck at 10:57 a.m. and had a preliminary measurement of 5.6. It was located approximately 10 kilometers south of Buff Bay, Portland. Jamaicans across the country have reported experiencing the quake. Holness said all the necessary protocols have been activated and that the government is taking the necessary precautions. He further said that disruptions in electricity and internet have been restored for the most part. Also, he said the country's airport remains open. Noting that there may be aftershocks following an earthquake, Holness appealed to the public to remain aware and be in a safe place. Members of the public are being asked to do an assessment to determine whether it is safe to return indoors. Jamaicans are also being encouraged to remain calm and follow earthquake safety protocols. Several buildings were evacuated and classes at some schools were suspended following the quake.